Welcome back to Daily DeFi. Today is April 23rd of 2021, Friday. We're seeing a market correction, especially in the stock market, as Joe Biden passes this new tax plan and people are really kind of panic selling. This is causing a little bit of confusion in the crypto markets, but we will see how this goes throughout the weekend and kind of moving into next week. The other things we'll be talking about today is Deriva Dao, Neutrino, and VAI. These are the only altcoins, the only DeFi altcoins that are doing at least green, like some of them barely in the green. Everything else, we'll talk about that, is in the red due to this kind of macro economy news. That's why I try to do more videos on the macro economy. I know it's not as interesting as something that's kind of hot and new and innovative as crypto, but it's very important to take in multiple factors. For example, you should definitely go watch the Global Investment Framework video down below in the description because that video basically explains how you should have these things priced in. You should be expecting a further pullback. You should be expecting more market crashes, and especially in the traditional stock market. I mean, that's why I don't talk about the stock market too much. I think there's individual sectors like, for example, cannabis, for example, AI companies, electric vehicles. These things are interesting to me, but the majority of the stock market is incredibly overvalued. It's ridiculous. We're seeing Great Depression levels of unemployment, yet we're seeing new all-time highs in multiple indices. So that's obviously for another video. Maybe I'll do an individual video today or tomorrow just specifically on Biden's tax plan and how this causes pullback. But again, the point here is, guys, well, the other thing is we'll talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. But the point here, guys, is to understand if you have a certain amount of capital allocated to different investment sectors. So let's say you have capital allocated to crypto, stock market, bonds, real estate, commodities, alternative investments, emerging markets, kind of those are all ones that I have basically capital allocated to. I never have, and you should never have, just by studying the best investors of history, the best capital allocators of history, never have 100% of the capital you have allocated to the individual area in the actual asset. The reason you don't have this in, I think 80% to 90% is max. You should always have at least 10% on the sidelines. That's a bare minimum to take advantages of situations like this. But this is just a temporary situation. This isn't even a big deal. The real situation will come when we have a true Great Depression level market crash, which who knows exactly when that will happen. We'll talk about more macroeconomy videos on this channel, obviously. But it's very important to not just get so tunnel visioned into the flashy object of cryptocurrency or, maybe commodities is interesting to you, maybe the stock market's interesting to you, maybe Forex trading different currencies is interesting. You have to take in the macro economy. And that's why, again, I'll try and do more videos on those. I know they don't get as many views because it's not as fascinating, I guess, but I find macro economy very, very interesting. And I recommend you get pretty interested in it too, because if you get interested in it, all I can say is, you will basically be able to have the map to essentially, it's like you're using Google Maps while everyone else is using an analog, like a paper map. You'll be able to dynamically approach the market while everyone is kind of fumbling around trying to pull out their map and figure out where they are. Whereas if you study the macroeconomy, you can follow along exactly where you are up to the second. So, anyways, moving on here, the total value locked in DeFi still, I mean, as I said, when we started this series out, we were around $25 billion, and we've done over a 2x, close to a 3x when we hit that these other highs. I mean, not quite a 3x, but today we're seeing $54.7 billion locked in. Maker dominance. Maker is still holding that crown from Compound. They took it back. So 17.1%. DeFi Pulse Index is at 420.58. That is good to see. Juicy NFT volume down, still millions of dollars in NFT daily volume, pretty crazy, $1.1 million. All right, moving on to Decrypt. So this is quite interesting. The Ethereum ETF, it gets off to $138 million start so far. So this is quite interesting. With Bitcoin ETFs, different countries keep playing in this. I think this is quite interesting. So 3 Ethereum exchange traded funds or ETFs launched in Canada Tuesday. It seems like Canada is very ahead of many other countries as far as ETFs goes. I think it's quite interesting. If you don't have exposure to the Canadian stock market and then you're in the U.S., I highly recommend when you are able to travel or if you can set up a visa to go, highly recommend at least. The thing is opening up these accounts, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to dump a ton of money in them. The power of brokerage accounts, the reason I open foreign brokerage accounts in different countries is because most people never even travel to those countries to open a foreign brokerage account. And we will be doing a video on opening a foreign brokerage account. One second. But the point is you kind of want to open up these roads. Think about it like right now you only have you're on like a one-way road, and all these other kind of alternative pathways are just closed. Well, all you have to do is drive on one to have it open. It doesn't mean you have to drive on it forever. You can change back lanes into your country if you'd like. But once you have that road open, you always have access to it now. And if you open up a Canadian brokerage account, or you open up a Mexican brokerage account, or a Brazilian brokerage account, or a Colombian brokerage account, or a Turkish brokerage account, Iranian, all these different brokerage accounts, they basically expand your options. And when we see the United States stock market being ridiculously overvalued, there are a lot of things in the Canadian stock market that are overvalued, but you should really be looking at emerging market trends. That's what I'm personally focused on. So as I said, the first Ethereum ETF got off to an explosive start. All in all, the trio of Canadian ETFs have racked up 138 million in trading volume so far. So the Ethereum ETFs, run by Purpose Investments, Evolve ETFs, and CI Global Asset Management, started trading on the Toronto Stock Exchange (TSX) on Tuesday. So the ETFs are products that allow investors to buy shares that represent the second biggest cryptocurrency by market cap, Ethereum. I think this is so powerful. I think we need to see a lot more of these in the United States if they want to keep up, because Canada is killing it. I'm surprised Australia isn't stepping up to the bat. Honestly, Australia is one of these markets where it's ridiculously overvalued. I think New Zealand and Tanzania are great plays, but Australia is really kind of falling behind, especially if you listen to kind of economists in Australia that are more Austrian school of economics, which I kind of tend to agree a bit more with. They really laid out how the bureaucracy there is just insane. It's causing for so many issues. They've really been hurting. Their obviously their economy is not fully dependent on tourism, so they have been able to lock down, but their economy has really been hurting. And this is one of those things where, as the world becomes basically borderless, as the global economy, everyone's able to go where they're treated best. Are they going to go to a country where they're going to live? Their cost of living is 5x or even 10x. Some of these places are ridiculously expensive, especially, if you're an entrepreneur, someone who's like, man, I don't need to live in my country of origin. I don't need to live in Australia. I don't need to live in Canada. I don't need to live in the UK or America. I can live where I'm treated best, and I have the best kind of lifestyle combined with the cost of living. So I think this is where a lot of these emerging market trends I'm looking at are moving towards. And I'm not looking at these in the next 1 year, in the next 2 years. No, I'm looking at least 10 to 20 to 30 years out. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Again, I would like to see other countries being innovative, but it's good to see that Canada is doing this. Again, I kind of see countries as businesses, which they really are at the end of the day. I think there are no sacred cows when it comes to this. A country is truly a business, just like a university or a school is a business. A lot of people think, oh no, it's something different. No, it's a business, guys. It's a business. Bitcoin tumbles 10% in 12 hours, trade below $50,000. So this is important, guys. I think we could see even a further pullback. I expect a further pullback. I have this priced in personally. That's again why I talk about this. Man, I can't harp on that enough. You have to price these things in. If something goes up, like I was in Bitcoin a bit. I got, the nice thing is I got in way before this bull run started. Like I was in around $8,000 to $9,000 when it was priced around that. So $8,000, $9,000 is when I was kind of dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. I wasn't super early into this. I was kind of early in the crypto space, but as far as Bitcoin goes and really studying the benefits of it, I wasn't insanely early. I mean, you could call that early because it's done over a 7x since then. But at this point in time, guys, when something goes up 6x, look at any other industry. You have to expect it to be able to go down at least the same amount, if not more. So when people go, oh, we'll never touch back $20,000, I'd be pretty careful with that. I mean, most probably, that $20,000 level might be a nice area of support, but I think we could break below it. That's just my personal opinion. I have that priced in. The real thing that you have to understand is you have to contemplate the downside. You have to seek out disconfirming evidence. That's what I talk about again in that global investment framework strategy video. Go watch it. Seek out disconfirming evidence. If you are so held fast in your beliefs that Ethereum's the end all be all, or Cardano, or this certain altcoin, seek out people that completely disagree with you and listen to them rationally, seriously, because this will help you not only grow in investing, but just in general. Like if you think whatever, like basketball is the best sport, go talk to people that love boxing. If you think that this religion's the best, or this type of this type of political framework is the best. Go seek out people that completely disagree with you and listen to them rationally. Try and have a discussion and not a debate. So that's the kind of key thing here. Okay, so moving on, that's the main thing, guys, though, is seek out disconfirming evidence, because this really helps you build on just kind of on your skills as far as kind of logic, rationale, and investing. They all kind of tie in together. So anyways, you can see pretty much everything is down here in the DeFi altcoin market. We picked out 3 altcoins that are kind of performing. I mean, pretty much everything is down. If this, man, like I said yesterday in the video, I am very close to the border of Syria, and my Wi-Fi has just been getting progressively worse and worse. So I apologize. I'm continuing to put out 3 videos a day, so I hope you guys appreciate that. But yeah, this is a little bit slow here. Anyways, moving on, you see pretty much everything is down except these 3. Everything's down a decent amount. I mean, again, I think you could see most of those altcoins, those top altcoins, be down 100%, and I would still be bullish. That's the thing, is you can still be bullish while things are falling. That's the perfect time to be bullish. I'm much more bullish then than I am when things are going up 20% consistently on the daily time frames, which that's the point of why we track in this series. When I show off most of the altcoins that are doing well, that are up 25%, I'm not buying those altcoins. If anything, if I own some of those altcoins, I'm de-risking a little bit, just a little bit, pulling a little bit of profits. But that's the main thing, guys. We showcase the altcoins that are doing well, not so you can necessarily go, oh, let me FOMO into these, but rather so you can go, okay, these are going up. If you have those altcoins, you should think about de-risking and putting them into something that is down a little bit that you believe in. Look at reserve rights token. Now, again, this is obviously it's a bit more complicated than this, but let's say something is down 25%. Well, you could pull a little bit of profits from some of these things that are still doing well and put it into this, because this is a perfect time to get into some of these, and that's obviously just an example with RSR. But anyways, VAI, so VAI, right around 95 cents. One of the only ones up on the daily. Market cap is around $2 million. But you see this kind of like strange little chart action here. Again, when something's pretty low market cap, it's a bit harder to judge. But yeah, anyways, that's it for VAI. Moving on to Neutrino USD. This one I thought was supposed to be a stable coin, right? Yes, okay. But the interesting thing here is that when things are called stable coins, this is what I find very, very interesting. Even if you have something like DAI, it's not so stable. I mean, you look at this. Look at this little drop here. If you have all your wealth in this, it's obviously, in my opinion, better than the US dollar, better than most currencies. But you have to understand that these things have volatility. That's why I kind of prefer USDC, because it's pretty much the most stable one in my opinion. Yeah, so just check this out, Neutrino USD, and kind of factor that in. Moving on to Deriva Dao. Again, this is the only ones that are up a little bit. Neutrino, even some of these stable coins are down on the daily. That's why I didn't pick out them, but I picked out this one. And it can be an interesting stablecoin play to kind of maybe have a little bit of diversification. So Deriva Dao, DDX, $136 million market cap, fully diluted about $500 million, sitting at $5.22, up about 1% on the daily. But again, even these ones that aren't even up a ton, they're doing a lot better than everything else. So it's quite interesting to look at this. Let me know if you hold Deriva Dao, if you use the Neutrino USD stablecoin, or if you hold DAI. So that's all for today's Daily DeFi. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, button all. Let me know what you thought about this one in the comments down below. As always, invest global, and until next time.